Hello, I'm Lou and welcome to my channel. This week's video is a follow-on from last week's video where I unboxed the Super Not Another Crap kit. It's a craft kit created by Nerdecrafter. She's a YouTube creator and she collaborated with Smart Art, which is a US based art subscription company. So in this video I'll be making a craft using the contents of this box. So if you want to see the contents of this box, then please do check out my video from last week. We're going to jump straight into it and start making the mould. To cast the figure, we need the actual mould, rubber bands, permastone powder, measuring cup, the funnel, a spatula for stirring, a mixing bowl, and some lollipop sticks. So first things first, we need to put the mould together and secure it with rubber bands. So this is what I've done. I wasn't sparing with the rubber bands at all. I really wanted to make sure that it didn't leak. I've gone round and just double checked all the seams are together. So I think we're okay. So only time will tell when we actually pour the permastone into the mould. So fingers crossed. So the guide actually says to put 200 ml of plaster in the measuring cup and not to compact the powder. So we pour this into the collapsible bowl. Try not to create like a cloud of powder. And then we need 3 ounces of water in the measuring cup. Okay, so I've got my 3 ounces of water and we're going to just mix that into the powder. It says to pour all of it over. As you can see, it's doing some magic here and bubbling away. So just make sure I'm scraping, and I need to push down, stir and push down, stir and push down. And I did watch Nerdecrafter do this, and of course I've done a mould before from last year's box. So I've got an idea of how to mix it. Make sure I'm scraping the sides, getting every bit of powder that hasn't mixed. I think we are there. So fingers crossed to the casting gods that this works. So okay. I'm gonna just stop there and just quickly just pour it back and just make sure that I'm not getting any pockets of air stuck. With the remaining liquid, I'm going to just pour into here. Okay, so that's it for the moment, and we'll come back in an hour and see if it's set. Okay, so it's the next day. I did read that you're supposed to go back to it about an hour after you've done the casting and take off the sides, but leave the middle bit. I didn't do that because it was late last night, so we're going to do it now. So I'm not overly happy with how this came out. It's very bumpy, but then if it's going to be like a terrain for it to stand on, then I don't think it's too bad. But yeah, it's quite lumpy bumpy. Yeah, that's that one. And I don't actually want these wings. I just didn't want to waste the plaster. But I can definitely use these for another time. You're probably wondering, oh, but she wants to do a dragon. Why does she not want these wings? Well, basically, I want to use the resin, UV resin that was in last year's Not Another Crap Kit box. So I don't know if it's cheating because it's not technically in this box, but I actually want to do resin in these wings here. So yeah, but we shall see. So these are the wings. Really cool. Okay, so the bit that you're probably waiting for is this bit. Not bad, not bad. A little bit bubbly. There is a bit, I don't know if it's a crack or, and his head's caved in a little bit because I didn't fill it up quite enough. Let's see. Okay. Ah, there goes the leg. Yeah, I wasn't quite gentle enough, I don't think. It says in the guide to just prise the edges away slowly, and I think I just didn't do it slowly enough. Never mind. I'm sure we can fix that, that's not a problem. There we go, there's one side. Ooh. Very careful. Hey. Ta-da! Okay, so it's one broken leg, but I can deal with that, that's fine. And this is the figure. Okay, so first things first, we need to actually build up the body of the figure. So we will be using Cosclay Sculpt, Cosclay Oven Cure adhesive, some sanding sticks. This is amateur wire, so I didn't realise what it was called, so I just looked it up and it's amateur wire. Some tools to help with sculpting, some more tools to help with sculpting, a scalpel blade or sharp pointy thing, and we do have a turntable here, but to be honest I probably won't really use it just because I have a broken leg, but we will fix that. So first things first, we will be using these sanding sticks to just smooth this out. Okay. hopefully that will, let's do it this way. Okay, so I was just a bit light with the sanding because as I said, I'll be covering most of it in clay. Oh no, his leg came off again. Never mind. Come on, sweet. Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to jump in and show you my progress so far. So this is my dragon, and as you can tell, it's sitting down. When I got the figure out of the mold, one of the legs did break off, and although I did fix it, another one broke off. So I decided to change the position of the dragon and have it sitting down. So this one was the only leg that didn't break. So I decided to add the leg to the other side, and I applied a lot of clay and the adhesive to give it that sitting down position. I then worked on the body and the neck and the face, and then I oven cured it. Thanks to the oven gods, it didn't crack at all. However, this leg did move around a little bit. It was still quite loose, so I added more clay and adhesive, and thankfully it's secure now. I was going to add back legs, so I was going to reuse these legs and have them at the back, so it's like a four-legged dragon. But because this took so long and it was really fiddly, I just didn't want to go through that pain again, so I've not used that. I wanted to see if there was such thing as a two-legged dragon, and there is. They're called a wyvern. They're a two-legged dragon with a long tail, and on occasion they don't have wings. So this is actually a wyvern. I decided not to have wings for my dragon. Instead I wanted a tail, so I've used the wings as a tail instead. I did do plaster the permastone wings, but I wanted see-through. I wanted to have a tail that was see-through, so I used UV resin in the mold with a UV flashlight, and yeah, it came out really well. I'm really happy with it. I don't know if it's cheating. This is from last year's box, so it is from Nerdecrafters box, but it's not in this current box. But I didn't want to use the permastone one. I wanted to have a clear wings as a tail, so that's what I've done. I added the tail, and initially I did use foil, so I'd rolled the foil into the shape I wanted with the wire, and then I wrapped clay around it, but it just wasn't working. It was really lumpy bumpy, it was cracking, it wasn't securing the way I wanted it to the body, so I scrapped that, and all I did was roll a long bit of clay, so a big bit of clay, to have thinner at one side and thicker on the other side, and then I attached it with the wire and the adhesive, and then I put more clay around it so it was a bit more cohesive, so it blended in better. I then went in because I wanted texture. I wanted to give that scaly effect, and I was looking around in arm's reach, trying to find something that had a bit of texture, and I found this lid, which is actually off of my alcohol ink, and the tip of it, I just thought, oh, that's quite a cool like pattern, and yeah, I used that and just dabbed the clay, and you got this really cool kind of octopusy kind of scaly effect. It was quite time consuming to do, but I actually really like how it came out. The body, unfortunately, because I'd already oven baked the body, I couldn't apply that texture. So unfortunately the body, there's no texture to that. I then oven cured the tail, and I actually made some coral. So this is going to be a sea dragon, my version of a sea dragon. As I love the ocean, I love sea life. I support charities for sea life as well. So yeah, this is something that I'm passionate about. so I wanted to incorporate it into the dragon. So I did a load of little coral. These are antlers, so these are going to be the dragon's antlers, and they'll go in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some clay on the spine of the dragon and texture it with the foil to give it that kind of rocky effect. And then I'm going to pop the clay in the coral into the clay to give it that kind of reef corally effect, and that will be part of the dragon. Okay, so I finally attached all of the coral pieces. I think I did actually use every part, and I am absolutely over the moon by how this looks. The aesthetic of this piece, I'm just in awe. I love how it looks. It does look like a proper reef. Absolutely amazing. I'm so glad I went with this. Obviously it still needs painting, and I've got to cure it for one more time. I was going to do coral on the legs, but then I changed my mind, and I'm going to leave it raw, so it's just got the perma stone, so I'm not going to put clay on there, again for just for texture. I can't remember if I mentioned, but the tail I made out of resin using the UV resin from last year's box. I've secured it with oven clay, and unfortunately you cannot put resin in the oven, and I didn't quite think that through. So unfortunately this part of the clay is going to be raw, so uncured. It's not, I'm going to keep it on the side as a display, so it's not like it's going to be moved around a lot. So I will attach it, so this part will be raw, but I'm okay with that, to be honest. I really wanted a clear tail because being a sea creature, a lot of fish, they have clear transparent tails, so that's kind of what I wanted with this piece. So I didn't want to use the permastone ones. So yeah, I'm happy for the most part of how it looks. I'm really, like I said, I'm blown away by it. I'm really happy. So I'm gonna pray to the oven gods, and as Nerdecrafter would say, dear baking gods of Evermore, please protect my piece from cracks, burns and fallen limbs, and stop breaking my stuff. Okay, so after the third bake, everything is okay. So thanks to the oven gods, everything has come out really well. There's no cracks. So the next part of the video is painting and using the airbrush, which I have charged. So firstly is the primer, and I'll be using the Super Salty brush set. So we're at the end of the video, and as you can see, I finished my figure and I am absolutely blown away by how it looks. I'm so pleased with the finish on it. I really love the aesthetic, the colours, the design. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The only thing I'm not too keen on is the darkness of the green, but I did try to lighten it up by doing a dry brush with white, just to lighten it up a little bit, and then I've used the metallic gold to give it a nice shimmery shine, because this is my version of a sea dragon. It's like the protector of the sea. I used resin, the UV resin from last year's box, just to put over the eyes, and use the torch to cure it, just to give it like a glossy look. I did the same with the wings. I used that as the tail because I wanted a transparent tail, because fish have like a translucent transparent tail, so that's kind of what I wanted. I absolutely love the reef. I tried to do multicolours of like the rainbow kind of effect, and then I went over with again the dry brush using white just to mute it a bit because it was a bit too bright. I wanted a bit more of a subtle look. I mean, it's still quite bright, but yeah, I think that helped quite a bit. And then I used the gold metallic for accents, so like the antlers, like the horns, which is coral. I used the gold, and the same with the breastplates and the nose plates, and then the eyes. And then I just went over that with the dry brushing, that to give it the shimmer as well. The base, I didn't go mad with the base. I was trying to give it like a sandy look, so it's like sitting at the bottom of the sea. So I just mixed like a brown, a yellow and a white, to give this like sandy look. And I used the airbrush mainly for the body and the tail, but I wanted to go in with the salty brush set for the actual coral. I wanted to be a bit more detailed and refined with the coral. So yeah, I think overall I think I've done a good job. The tail earlier in the video, I used the cosplay for the tail, and because you can't put resin in the oven, I did kind of just think, oh, I'll just not cure the clay and just attach it. But then I remembered in last year's Nerdecrafter, not another crap kit, she included the epoxy sculpt, and this air dries, so I used a bit of this from last year's box, just for the end bit of the tail, to secure the wings, to make like a tail. So that's kind of what I've done, and I think I did a pretty good job. So although it's last year's box, it's still a Nerdecrafter item, so I don't think I did cheat, but let me know in the comments down below if you think I did. But yeah, let me know what you think of my dragon, and what would you have created using the mold that's in this year's box. It'll be really interesting to see what you come up with. I have looked at other videos on YouTube, and there's some really cool designs and figures. So I think I'm a little bit outside the box, just because it's not the usual dragon. I've got 2 legs, not 4. I've used the wings as a tail, so there's no wings on here. But I think overall I did a good job. So thank you for watching. Please do give me a like, share and a subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care. Bye.